Bon dia.
All right, what's up, guys? Welcome into Packers Total Access. My name is Clayton. You can check us out on Packernet.com. Find me on Twitter at Packers_access. You can email us, PackersTotalAccess@gmail.com. You can text us 865-658-5824. Join alongside Tim, live in Green Bay. We are back at Command Central. Rolled into town probably about 40 minutes ago, so excited to be home. Emilio said, Clayton, your face is baked, bro. He wasn't lying. I got sun down there in the Ville, as they say. But
it's called heat stroke. It's called heat stroke, Clayton. You've got heat stroke.
It was bad. It was hot, man. I don't know what the heat index was, but I know some of the players were commenting on it down there, especially on the field. I can only imagine how hot it was on the field. But man, what a blast, Tim! That town is cool, and I've been there a couple times, and this is the first time I actually got an opportunity to take it in. And, I'm so glad we spent the night and got out on the town a little bit last night and grabbed dinner and all kinds of stuff. And it was just a blast, man, an absolute blast. So shout out to Nashville. People were so welcoming. The fans were awesome. I didn't see from the time I rode into town, pregame, during the game, postgame, back at the hotel, rooftop lounge, hitting that we went down into the city and got the best strawberry milkshake I ever had in my life. But seeing people out and about, not one argument, not one person yelling, not one person fighting. It was just unbelievable. Full place.
Yeah, absolutely. I've been meaning to get to a game there forever. I wish I could have made it this year with you guys, but there's something about your neck of the woods down there, man. Tennessee is that's God's country down there, and a lot of good people. That's the heartbeat of America, man. And I fully expected that. Nothing but class from the Tennessee Titan fan base, which is more than we can say for a lot of these other franchises out there who shall remain nameless. As you see viral fist fights and
every week,
all kinds of craziness at some of these games. It's really refreshing to see a place like Nashville where it all starts with respect, man. We're all here because we love this country, we love football, and just want to cheer our team on. So it was not surprising to me at all that you guys had a blast, and there were a ton of Packer fans there, and they were well received by the Titans fans. So salute to Nashville for sure.
Yeah, it was awesome, man. I'll tell you what else is awesome. That's getting you tickets over at Ticket King, the official ticket provider of Packer Fan Total Access Live. Wisconsin-based since '92, specializing in Packers tickets, Wisconsin's largest ticket source with offices next to Lambeau and in Milwaukee. You can just click on the link in the video description. That'll send you to theticketking.com. Register for free as a customer and go ahead and start shopping for your Packers tickets. Again, that is Ticket King, the official ticket provider of Packers Total Access Live. So we had a comment here I want to hit real quick, Tim. Cody McDougal said, predictions for the Vikings game this week. I think our young team remembers how humbled they were by the Lions last year and handed them their dinner on a plate during Thanksgiving. Cody, there's going to be a lot of time to get to that Vikings game. Not going to be tonight, buddy. We're going to soak this one in a little bit longer. We're just going to extend the Victory Monday celebration here and just talk about what happened in the game. Obviously, we'll have chalk talk. I'm very excited, like you, Cody, for the Vikings game. But I'm going to hold off just a day or two longer, kind of dive into, all right, what really went right in this Titans game. We'll do chalk talk. Hopefully tomorrow I can get that in. If not, it'll be Wednesday. But then we'll start diving into the Vikings because the Vikings are looking good, man. They're playing good ball. There's no two ways about it. So,
but I echo that sentiment for real, Clayton, because, we still got like 4 or 5 hours left of Victory Monday here. We're going to go ahead and enjoy this dub. But I think we should put a star on Cody's comment here because we should certainly get to that later this week for sure. There's a lot to dissect when it comes to the matchup against the Vikings. But, I think we should continue to look at this win that we got yesterday in Nashville and, what can we learn from it and what can we be excited about? What can we be happy about and enjoy here on this Victory Monday? So I'm with it.
Definitely. And I see somebody in the chat was asking who's got the blinking jack-o'-lantern. I don't know what happened to our names, Tim. I'm not sure what happened there. But here we go. Show display names. No. Don't know. Have no idea, man. That's what happens when you leave town.
I'm Clayton, and that's Tim.
There you go. Boy, I'm telling you, you just blew my mind. That was after the weekend we just had. it don't take much to get me a little loopy. I ain't gonna lie. So, but
well, that's all courtesy of Mandy, right? The flaming jack-o'-lantern right next to the Packer helmet. I love it.
Absolutely, man. She knows what she's doing, dude. She is awesome at decorating and getting all that stuff in.
I just went and grabbed a bunch of leaves from the leaf pile out back and just strung them up.
Hey, that works too, man. That definitely works too. All right, so let's do this, man. Let's go ahead and jump into there's the names. Now we see it. All right, so
here's a guy.
That's what it was. So it's probably done it the whole time, and I just didn't recognize it. All right, let's jump into a couple things that happened. I want to give a shout out to Eli Berkovitz on Twitter, one of the best Twitter follows for Packer fans. He is just absolutely awesome at what he does. So he tweeted out he's already been diving into some of the all-22. And let's just hit a little bit of this real quick, man. This is fun. The tweet he put out was the Packers had 8 sacks yesterday. Enjoy. That's all he said. So in case there's noise, we'll go ahead and mute it. Look at LVN out here in a wide 9 tech. So you got a 9. You got a 9, a 2, a 3, and then another wide 9. Okay, and what we're talking about is the technique there of the defensive lineman on the field. And look who it is. Devontae Wyatt playing that 3 tech, and that kind of looks like Enigbare right here. I could be wrong. That looks like a thinner dude. Let's let it roll here and watch. We'll watch LV and Carl Brooks. All right. So there you see a little TT stunt. See how they're crossing out there, that twist in the middle?
Yep.
And if we roll it back, boy, LVN just eats lunch right here, man. Bang.
Yeah.
But
you're right, though. Carl Brooks there crashing inside and just occupying some blockers, man, really freeing up that space. That's beautiful.
That's the stuff that's not going to show up in the stat column. I apologize. I'm going to be rude and eat here. I just got in. But that's the stuff that doesn't show up in the stat column. And if you don't know what to look for, you truly don't understand what the game plan was in the pass rush, right? So huge there. All right, here's the next play. Forest Tech. We got a wide 9. We got a 3 tech. We got a 2-eye. And we got another wide 9. Let's roll it. Is that Devontae Wyatt? Yes, sir, it is. Look at that.
I mean, quiet as kept. This might have been the best game he's had in a Packer uniform, honestly.
Completely agree. And look, it's just a bull rush outside, right? Let's roll it again. You see him fighting, and then he's just going to collapse the pocket, go to the inside shoulder. Bang. Beautiful. All right, now look at this front, Tim. Check it out. One thing I did notice being in a stadium, you know how they got to report when an offensive lineman is eligible. And it doesn't mean it's a run play, but what they're doing is giving the illusion of a lot of offensive linemen, right? And most of the time it's a run play. So we've seen a lot of that, and it seemed like more times than not they did run the football when they're 71's reporting eligible, all those type of things, right? So it was interesting to see that. So that meant they were going to 12 and 13 personnel, but really the 12 and 13. One of those tight ends was an offensive lineman, so they went really heavy in that regard. So here you got a real tight front, not necessarily the term tight. That does mean a front. We won't dive into all that, but you just kind of see how all the linemen, essentially, if you start from left to right, you've got a 3 tech, a 1 tech, a 2-eye, and a 3 tech. So they're really trying to attack the middle of the field, and you kind of see, is that Quay? I believe that's Quay right here on his half sack.
Yep.
So watch Quay. Kind of spine. He's like, you know what? Let's just go get this cat. Look at him run him down. Oh, my God.
That's that athleticism we talk about.
Yep.
I believe that was Cooper that slipped in behind him, too. Looked like 56 there coming over into coverage. So interesting, a little bit of a switch up, right? You got Quay firing down, and, you've got another backer going into coverage.
Yeah.
And, there's that athleticism. Zay McDuffie in there, too.
Yeah. Duffy. Oh, you were talking about pre-play probably with Cooper.
Was that Cooper to the right or Quay's left, our right, sliding across there?
Yeah, he's just dropping into coverage though.
Yep.
Yeah. But yeah, look at you're right, man. That's again what Quay does well is vertical coverage and blitzing the quarterback. So you might see Quay blitz a lot more, man. Put him in a position. Hey, you know what? If he continues to struggle as a stack backer in the run defense, if that continues, why not use him as an edge rusher from time to time? You're throwing some of these NASCAR packages out there anyway, right? Why not do it? So that's something to keep our eye on for sure. See, you mark this. Respect Orange just says 9 sacks. Thanks, Preston. All right. Preston had a good game, though.
He did. He did, but it's important to put that up there because Respect Oranges is right here. It would have been 9. We had a little technical issue there with a veteran player lined up in the neutral zone. It happens from time to time, but I put that up there more to shine light on the fact that Rashawn had a sack for sure, and it didn't count. It was negated by a penalty, but we can't be too hard on P. Smith, man. That's just those things happen sometimes, man. You're in the heat of battle. You're in the moment. Next thing you know, that toe or those couple fingers you got there in the dirt are over the line, and not much you can do about it. Because if you move and try and adjust and you do it too late, you're definitely going to snitch on yourself and get flagged anyway. So sometimes all you can do is just hold that line and hope the line judge doesn't see that. But he got caught. It is what it is.
Yeah. Next sack here that Eli Berkovitz tweeted out. You got a wide 9, 3 tech, 2 eye, and then another wide 9, really wide 9 over there. And you can see, God almighty, that was Coop. What was that, Coop?
56. That's Edgerrin Cooper.
That was Edgerrin Cooper. Holy cow! See, I don't remember this play.
Or was that 55? It might have been Enigbare. Let's see.
I thought it was Enigbare at first, but I think that's no, that's Enigbare. My bad.
Yeah. Okay.
So look at this move he throws on him. Let's see if we can dissect what it is. All right. So he's going to go speed outside, then jab step in, swim. Oh my God! That man has a family right there, Tim. That right tackle has a family. That's embarrassing. I mean, that's literally.
He thought he was gonna juke him, and he basically just dragged it and stayed inside and just burned him. It was beautiful.
Bro, that was wild. Like, check him out. He's gonna go jab step outside, right? Get him committed outside. See, now he's late to his kick step, and now he's gonna come back in, and then you see the overhand swim.
Yep.
Bang. And what a way to finish. And then there's LVN. This is my favorite play of the day. I do remember this play because of LVN. LVN literally just frog splashed the quarterback. It was awesome.
I remember watching this live and thinking at game speed, being really surprised that he didn't get flagged for that hit up high on the quarterback. Mm-hmm. And I think it's because of the technique that JJ used here when he came around. You see the right there, you see the right arm kind of come up around the neck, but he never grabbed and he never really clutched. It kind of just swiped up top. And to the officials' credit, you see him in the bottom right hand of your screen there. To the officials' credit, seeing that, I think they saw that he didn't grab, he didn't twist his neck or try and do anything crazy, so they let it go. But you know how these quarterbacks are protected now. You can't hit them high, you can't hit them low. Yeah. But it was nice to see him playing with ferocity but under control there, and not picking up a penalty. We get the strip sack and a great LVN fumble recovery.
Absolutely, man. And LVN right here, watch, he's like, oh, this is a free shot. This is legal, boys. You're both going for the ball. You can accidentally fall on that quarterback. Bang. I love it, man.
Hey, big guys fall on it, skinny guys pick it up and run, right? I mean, that's just LVN doing, for all intents and purposes, he might have been able to, jump over Levis there and scoop it and maybe run with it. But I'm with you, Clayton. Take the surefire play and get down and dirty. Who cares?
Absolutely.
Get on that ball and add a little extra shot in there if you can.
Yep. And I love what John says here in the chat. Rashawn Gary was double teamed, if not triple teamed. Many of these sacks, the reason it freed up the way it did was you could tell they were really putting attention to Rashawn Gary, especially when he was like right here, lined up on the right side. Let's see if they chip here. They may not chip on this play. Just forget who's getting the sack, but watch Gary and see what happens here. So that's actually a single. But look at Gary. See it?
Yep.
Beat his guy like a drum when it's just one blocker. And they kept throwing chips over there at him because they knew it. And look at Enigbare. Let's go back now and watch Enigbare. I was telling Emilio this earlier. It's like kind of getting Zadarius Smith vibes from Enigbare and how they used to line him up in the middle. Here you see it, guys. This is that overload front. You got 3 rushers on the left, 1 in a wide 9 on the right. And then on top of that, you've got a linebacker looking to possibly scrape. Let's see if Quay fires. He does. So watch, Preston Smith's going to jam in. And this is called, that would, you would normally call that an ET stunt if that was a defensive tackle. But the fact that it's an end and a stack backer, you refer to that as a scrape, a linebacker scrape blitz. Okay, so what he's going to do is allow that DN to crash in and then scrape off of it. Tried to, not little spy. So that was a different play I was thinking of there. Let's go back to Enigbare. I thought that was the one where he scraped. Me and Emilio caught that one live. It was a lot of fun. All right, watch Enigbare. Oh my God,
man. That first move is just so quick.
And you've seen 2 different moves here. You've seen the jab step swim, right? And this time, I'm pretty sure it's a chop, where he'll chop the hands and just jump to the inside. See if he chops these hands. Yep. See him swat.
See, but it's like you just said, it's a jab, step, swim, and both of those are happening simultaneously. It's not jab, step, then a swim. It's like he's so fast off that snap that, I pray for these old linemen, man. There's not much you can do against that except try and fall down, get in his way. But, JJ and Igbari, you talk about athletic freaks on this defense. He's one of them for sure.
Yeah, no doubt. Now you're going to see here the defensive tackle who is in pretty much a two-tech. That's Devontae White, double team. Look at him just keep fighting, Tim. Oh, my God. He beat a double team. Let's go, dude.
Had himself a game. And, like John said here in the comment, Rashawn Gary was double teamed, if not triple teamed. Yeah, because a double team and a chip is like your best chance against Rashawn because he's going to beat one-on-one 9 out of 10 times. He's going to beat your traditional double team, 50 to 60% of the time, too. He's going to fight through the double team. So a double team and a chipping tight end or a chipping running back it's your best chance to try and wash Rashawn out of a play because he's that effective. And of course that helps our defense too. If he's drawing that much attention, you can see why Devontae Wyatt, Inigbare, LVN, Preston Smith, we had guys that were eaten in this game because of the attention that Bane Gary was drawing over there for sure.
Greg Ross said they should have dropped Gary into coverage if everyone is focusing on stopping his pass rush. People's heads would have exploded, but maybe half the professor could explain it to them. I'll tell you, man, you got that right. They would have lost their mind if they just seen Rashawn Gary dropping into coverage. But, yeah, that's a really, from a schematic standpoint, it makes a lot of sense, Tim. Like, hey, all right, you want to try to key in on him, and that's your Tuesday play. You're going to double him. Let's just do a quick little fake, a little sugar, drop into the flat, and watch two blockers go, now what do we do?
Yep.
So, I like it. Good call there. All right, so this is the scrape block or the scrape blitz I was thinking about, I'm sure. So notice the overload on the right, gang. Okay, once again, we've seen this with the Jets in the offseason when we broke down the Jets defense, trying to figure out what Halfley's is going to look like. Overload 3 rushers on one side, and you've got Rashawn isolated on the left. This guy probably going to try to get a piece of Rashawn, I'm not sure. But this is, I think, the scrape blitz. These guys are going to work inside, and you're going to see, I'm pretty sure Edgerrin Cooper scrapes off the right if this is the play I'm thinking about. It's a good problem to have, Tim, when you had so much pressure. You're like, was that the play that we did that? Because we were in the quarterback's lap all night. Let's see. Yeah, here comes a scrape. See him crash in, and he's going to scrape off the edge. Look how quick. Bang. Oh, I love Levis didn't have a chance, dude. All day long, Tim. I felt bad for him. Mandy looked at me and was like, I really feel bad. I kind of hope Levis puts a drive together. I feel bad for him.
Well, he'll always have that opening drive. That's about it.
They beat the hell out of that boy all day long, man. It was so bad. I looked over, too, at the end of our aisle, and there was a Titans fan. He looked like he was probably, I'm guessing, 13, 14 years old. And he was by himself at the time because fans kept getting up and walking out. They were so sick of it. And he was going through it. He was sitting there like this, and he was going the whole time. And I looked over at him, man. I'm like, let's tone it down a little bit with the cheering. My man's having a rough day over here. You know what I mean? Like, let's go easy on this.
Yeah, send that young man a junior daddy soda. Send him a root beer over there or something. Get him an ice cream.
He was going through it, man. There's no doubt about it. All right, so here's a much different look than what we've seen. We showed the defensive line kind of tightened up, right? We've showed the overload. We showed kind of their basic package, which is a 9-3 2-eye or a 9-3-1, along with another wide 9. Here you see the defensive tackles are both in a 4-tech, Tim. Look at this. 4-tech over the tackles. How are these guys going to fit into this blocking scheme?
Exactly.
And you got your wide 9s off of that. Let's watch Preston off the left. Pretty cool they put him rushing over there. So let's see it. Oh, my gosh. Yep. Just a punch. Just a little punch and swim right here. Watch, he's going to smack him in the chest and then swim over the top. Bang.
Kenny Clark, man, putting in work there. Beating 2 guys, 2 guys that had all the time in the world. Like you said, middle of the field was wide open there. We had guys in the wide 9s, and that center and that right guard, they were taking turns getting beat by Kenny Clark. It was a beautiful thing. I love it.
Definitely, man. So what we're going to do now is let's jump into I want to show one play here. Christian Watson, Tim, when, the clip that I showed on the morning show when we were still in Nashville earlier today, that deep shot on the slot fade. I'm excited about breaking that one down if it makes the cut for Chalk Talk.
Yep.
But the beautiful thing was Malik Willis can at the line, seen it. All right, I'm going to my big boy right here in man coverage. Beautiful throw, beautiful catch, everything.
Yep.
But there were a lot of plays. I seen this one in real time and immediately looked over and Amelia went, "Did you see Watson?" So he was just watching Watson, right? And I said back to him, like, "Yeah, did you notice the pressure, though?" Because what they ended up doing was they fired a cat blitz. Now, the cat blitz is the reason Watson got singled up on the safety, right? And he scorches the safety. So if hindsight being 2020, and maybe Jordan would have picked this up, if you've seen, you'll notice the corner kind of tips it a little bit. When you seen that tip, you could have went with a little bit different can approach and told the running back, slide right, block and slide right. Because I think they run like a play action. And if you've seen that, if you truly seen it, thought, okay, he's going to be one-on-one with the safety. If you can call off that play action and get your T to slide over and pick up this cat blitz, watch Watson right here. I'm going to kind of show you what unfolds here. So down here wide, let me get it on the screen here. I apologize. All right, so down here wide, that's your Y, okay? I don't know why it's not showing my cursor. There we go. This is your Y. That's your tight end. That's Musgrave. So they came out in a dub set, and they're all nasty splits, Y flex, right? So you'll see he goes over. And when he goes over, now you got Watson out here outside. Watch this corner on Watson. As soon as they flexed in, right, see how the corner comes up, bump and run. So you're thinking, oh, they're playing bump. But you got shell coverage. So as a quarterback, you're not thinking shot play here. But watch this corner tip his hand. Right there, see it? He jumped inside just a touch. He's getting ready to fire a cat blitz. And you see – Malik's still looking at back here on the safety, so he didn't really see him tip his hand. Now he resets.
He kind of glanced, though. I remember this because he grabbed the towel and he kind of acted like, yeah, I'm wiping my hands off real quick here. Yep. He took a peek over there. I think he saw that pre-snap.
So there's the cat, play action, unblocked, right? So there's not much you can do here. But look at Watson. Watch him right here. You know that ball's going. Look at Watson. I seen that in real time and was like, oh my God, if the protection could have held up, or man, you just canned out of the special, the play action. Let me get that.
He's just so fast, man. And then he has that. He's got that afterburner. Like he hits the nitrous booster and just gone right there, right around the 45-yard line. He's gone.
And the subtleness of his route, most people probably won't pick up on. Watch Watson. Watch the safety. Watson gives a little outside bend. Not a fake, just bends outside a touch, and the safety has to honor that, respect it, and then he turns it into a skinny post. Watch it again. Right there. Yep. Now it's off to the races. Beautiful route. Speed. It's coming, boys. I'm telling you, it's right around the corner. Watson is going to blow up. No doubt about it. Michael with the super chat. Thank you, sir. He says, been listening to Packernet for 4.5 years. Finally found y'all live. Appreciate all y'all do. Packer fan from Chicago, by the way. My man behind enemy lines. Michael, appreciate the support, buddy. Thanks for listening to the podcast. And you're always welcome here on the YouTube channel. But like I always say, everybody, if you have to choose between the two, prioritize Packernet on podcasts. Let's make sure we're supporting that because obviously Ryan gave me the platform to kind of start podcasting. We want to definitely do everything we can to support him, but you're always welcome here on YouTube too, man. Ryan swings through here from time to time on YouTube as well. It's a lot of fun, man, being a part of this network for sure. So appreciate the super chat, man. Thank you for the kind words. You're awesome. All right, so let's get into some PFF grades. I'm sorry, Tim. I see what you did there now. You can scan the QR code if you guys are going, what is this Packernet thing y'all are talking about? Scan the QR code in the upper right. That'll send you to Packernet Podcast. You'll see multiple platforms to choose to subscribe to the podcast. That way, when you're on the go and you're not watching on YouTube, you can find this show as well as the Packernet Podcast, the flagship show, and Packernet After Dark, a couple other things too. So just be on the lookout for that. Scan that QR code and go ahead and sub. And, it's free content, a lot of fun, man. We appreciate everybody supporting over there too. Anything else you want to hit, Tim, before we get into the I wanted to get into some PFF stuff, if that's all right with you. Anything else you want to
let's do it, man. No, let's do it. I think we covered a good chunk of it here on a Victory Monday to relive this victory. Let's dive into the PFF deal here. Let's see what we got.
All right, cool. I'm going to try to get the screen where you guys and gals can see it okay. Can you see that all right, Tim? We're good there, man?
Yeesh.
All right, cool. So what I like to do when we dive into the PFF grades after every game, and we'll keep an eye on the chat in case some super chats come through. Appreciate y'all. All right. So we like to dive into, I like to do it like overall and go, okay, where are the teams sitting now through the most recent week? Now, obviously, we got some Monday Night Football games going on tonight, a doubleheader. So there's going to be some teams that haven't, tallied up their score yet. So let's just sort by overall real quick and see where the Packers are sitting. Overall, according to PFF, they're tied for 18th at 68.7. Okay, that's where they're sitting there. When we sort by offensive grade, the Packers are currently sitting 15th at a 71.1. All right. Passing grade, the Packers climb a couple spots there. They're in the 13 spot at 68.3. All right. This is what they do really, really well. Pass blocking, 82.9. They are the second highest graded pass blocking team in the entire league. Absolutely huge, man. So huge. All right. Receiving grade. The Packers are currently sitting in the 20 spot with a grade of 65.5. Okay. Running grade.
Wait, what was that? Was that you said
65%.
65%. That's what it was, Tim. By the way, don't let me forget before we wrap the show up. I got the package in from Trevor, who donated, went to Lambeau or wherever he met with Mark Murphy, and got an autographed picture of Mark Murphy that he signed 65% on for. So he sent two and said, man, you keep one. I will honor that. Thank you, sir. I'm putting that in the front. Mandy said, I got a frame for it already. We'll put it on the wall.
I was going to say, Mandy's probably got a couple choices for you to frame that up already. I love it.
She loves Mark Murphy, man. She's a big Mark Murphy fan. I am too. But yeah, just awesome job. I think it was Trevor that sent it in. Thank you so much, buddy. We appreciate that. So we're going to do that giveaway here real soon as well. So yeah, 65%. That's correct. Tim. Running grade, 80.9. We're the sixth highest graded running team according to PFF. All right.
Love it.
Run. This is what's amazing. The run blocking grade is 23rd at 59.9. That shows you how well the running backs are playing. If you like PFF, I understand there's some people hearing me right now that don't like PFF. That's totally cool, man. Me personally, it's another metric I can use. It's another tool I can use to go, okay, here's a whole lot of other human eyeballs on the game tape. What are they seeing? Is it lining up with what I'm seeing? Is it lining up with what the analytics are showing? All those things. So
now here's a guy who likes PFF.
I love it, man. I think they do a good job. I really do. They're not perfect. If you go in with the mindset of, okay, this isn't perfect, you don't have an issue with it. You don't. But if you go in, some people just go in, man, and the only thing they're worried about, Tim, is they want to be pessimistic about everything. They're going to find something wrong with everything. And they're going to torch anybody who gets excited over something. So
that's why I like PFF. It's a good counterbalance. It helps you kind of keep things in perspective. You kind of get into the meat and potatoes a little bit. And, none of these metrics are without their own flaws, depending on how you look at it. And I'm with you, Clayton. PFF is just, I don't know, one of my more favorite ones, I guess, when it comes to breaking things down.
Definitely. So when you look at the team from an offensive standpoint, what they do really well is pass block, and the running backs are just playing outside of their mind right now. So that's what you're seeing right now with the offense. Let's move on to defense. Defensively, the Packers are grading out 23rd at a 62.4. Okay, 62.4. Now these are player grades. When people see that, they go, but the defense is way better than that, right? There's no way that they should be down that low. How do you know that? Have you watched every snap? Because this isn't saying here's how good the defense is. This is saying how good the players are performing. So you can have players that are maybe having a little bit of a struggle right now, but they're still putting up a good defense. What's that tell you? You're probably making some timely calls from the defensive coordinator. You're probably coaching your ass off as a defensive coordinator.
Yep.
Again, not saying these grades are completely accurate, but I think there's probably a little bit of that going on, right? So, again, 23rd to the 62.4. Run defense-wise. Run defense grade, according to PFF, they are 25th, all right, at a 53.9. Moving on to tackle grade. Wonder why the run defense is bad. Well, the tackle grade, where are they at now? It ain't because of tackle grade, Tim. Across the league, it's pretty bad, but Green Bay is 11th at 59.9. So the tackle seems to be getting a little better, right? So if you go to the run defense, you look at the run defense grade, and that's kind of, I think it's not everything encompassed in it, but I kind of think gap assignment. How well are they fitting in? And listen, the PFF graders, they're not going in with the exact call. They're trying to guess, okay, here is what we think the call was. With that being said, this should have been this player's assignment. They're going to get stuff wrong. It's going to happen. But when I think run defense grade, I think run fit, and then you got your tackle grade separate. I like that they do that. So pass rush grade. Now, we just had a hell of a game pass rushing, didn't we, fellas?
Sure
We're
did.
64.3, 21st in the league. And that might surprise you. But again, how are we getting pressure on the quarterback? We're doing TT stunts. We're doing ET stunts. We did a scrape. You're getting really, really creative from a defensive coordinator standpoint. Put pressure on the quarterback. Coverage grade. Green Bay is now up to 15th with a 67.0. That's encouraging. And then, of course, special teams grade. Not that good, bub, 57.4. But here's what I always say about the special team grade, Tim. You're not giving up touchdowns, buddy. That's good enough for me. Like, as long as you're not botching snaps, you're not getting kicks blocked, and you're just kind of, all right, you're not losing the game. That's all I can ask for the special teams. I'm telling you, man, 3 years ago.
Full-on liability.
Yes.
Yep. And they're not a liability anymore. We talked about this. If special teams can just not be a raging dumpster fire, we'll be okay. And, obviously the Irishman, Daniel Whelan, is helping us out a lot, tilting the field in the punting game. And, our place kicking game will come along, special teams on kickoffs and punts, that will come along. It's already improved. I don't care what anyone says. We're not in the upper echelon when it comes to the league rankings, but we're certainly not bottom of the barrel, like you said, where we have been for, the past, 4 years or so. So it's an improvement. I'll take it.
Definitely, man. So now let's look at the encouraging thing to me, Tim, is the team is getting better every week according to PFF, right? So overall team grade in week 1 versus the Phillies versus Philly was 60.3. Last week against the Colts, 68.3. This week against the Titans, 71.2.
Gee, that looks like an improvement week to week to week there, doesn't it?
It looks like a Matt LaFleur team, doesn't it, man?
Yeah, our guys better wake up with their piss hot, like I said before. So.
It always happens like that, Tim. Every year, man. It seems like, other than last year when we played during the preseason, we came out playing pretty good week 1. But the team really does seem to be building off these successes. That's what Jair talked about, too, in the locker room, wasn't it?
Yep, that's right. Gotta love it, man.
All right, so let's dive into the game reports offensively. Let's see who went out and had themselves a ball game. We'll also talk about some of the negatives and some of these guys that need to clean some stuff up. So leading the way for the Packers, best offensive grade, Josh Jacobs at a 77.0. All right. Second was Emmanuel Wilson, 76.7. How about that? Your 2 running backs were your highest graded players in this game. Tim, I remember a defensive lineman for the Titans named, I can't remember his name. It rhymes with Schmeffrey Jimmins, but
who?
He said nobody runs on Tennessee, right? Look at these grades. You know what I'm saying? And the running backs didn't have like eye-popping stats, but boy, Malik Willis did. Malik Willis cut them apart with his legs, right? We ran all over them, man. It was a lot of fun. So Emmanuel Wilson, 76.7. Next, Christian Watson, offensively, 76.0. Tim, that's what I love it for, baby. 34 snaps too, man. Played a lot of snaps, right? Played a little over half of the snaps. So pretty good sample size there, man. That's encouraging. 75.7.
In the words of Stephen A. Smith, "Mama, there goes that man."
And by the way, if you guys haven't seen Stephen A. Smith's Twitter reaction last night to the Cowboys losing, every week, do yourself a favor. You need this for mental health purposes. If the Cowboys lose, wait. It might take 15 minutes after the game. He usually gets them out pretty quick. Go to Stephen A. Smith. and watch his Twitter reaction. It is hilarious, dude. Every week, just trolling the hell out of the Cowboys. So Christian Watson again in the passing game, 75.7, run blocking grade 60. So nice there. Malik Willis, 75.9, passing grade 68.0, running grade 76.9. Run blocking, that's interesting. My man got a 60. He must have threw a block out there.
Yep.
He did have one penalty that was credited to him or tagged on him. So I'm sure that did hurt his grade a little bit there. But again, Malik Willis, Tim, 75.9, bro. Like, what else can you ask for your backup quarterback, dude?
Yeah, man, Malik Willis continues to impress. We talked about his FBI and we talked about his pocket presence, but now here's a chance to look at some of those, those intangibles. You're right. Clearly he got in here on a couple of these run fits, hand the ball off. You think the play is over with? Nah, get out there and throw a block or get in the way and do something to help your team. And, you saw that in the post-game locker room reaction. It's kind of the same story these past couple of weeks. He's just thanking the guys for having his back and, supporting him and that kind of thing. Well, Malik is doing the same thing. He's doing much more than just, quarterback in the offense, man. He's doing all the little things you want any player on your team to do, which is the dirty work. And you'd be surprised, man, that little chip at the end or maybe just running out in front and getting in a DB's way or something or, brushing off a linebacker, that could be the difference between, 1 to 3 to 4 more yards on a play. And, it's a game of inches and we'll take everyone we can get. And, it's something that we've seen here for many, many years in Green Bay. Brett Favre was no stranger to getting out there and, blocking someone. Aaron Rodgers was the same way. Jordan Love, we've seen do it. And it doesn't surprise me at all that Malik Willis is, following suit. So it's just a testament to what we do in Titletown and really what it's like in a Matt LaFleur offense. And you love to see it.
Definitely. And speaking of Matt LaFleur and Malik Willis, this came out earlier today. Green Bay Packers tweeted out, "What a job by Malik Willis." Had a quote from Coach LaFleur. "I cannot articulate the job that he's done in a short period of time. People can't fathom that, I promise you." So he is blown away at how quickly Malik Willis has picked up this offense and them to be able to add things onto him and be able to go in McCam plays now. Like you're getting another page, another layer peeled back every week. And you're seeing Malik Willis kind of step into his own under Matt LaFleur. And Matt LaFleur better get some respect. I'm telling you, look at this right here, Tim. Fox Sports NFL tweeted this out. "A change of scenery has benefited Malik Willis. 3 starts with the Tennessee Titans. Completion percentage, 51%, 234 yards, 0 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, and a 39 rate. All right. 2 starts with the Green Bay Packers. He went from 51% to 83% completion percentage, which is just playing outside of your mind. He went from 234 yards in 3 starts to 324 yards in 2 starts. All right. He went from 0 touchdowns to 3 interceptions to 2 touchdowns and no interceptions. And then a rating of 39 all the way up to 131.7 with the Packers. Oh, by the way, this season, 114 rushing yards and that touchdown you seen yesterday on the zone read option.
This says more about the Green Bay Packers than it does about the Tennessee Titans. And Malik Willis will be the first one to tell you that, he's not going to bash the Titans organization. He feels like they gave him a shot. He openly admitted that, as a rookie, he wasn't ready for a lot of those snaps and a lot of that action. And maybe that is a testament to how they develop quarterbacks down in Nashville. I think this speaks volumes to what happens here at 1265. And, for everything we say about Matt LaFleur, we can't forget about Tom Clements. I mean, this guy had to have had a massive influence on getting Malik Willis up to speed. And it also says a lot about Malik's prep and, how seriously he takes his job to be able to just waltz into Green Bay like this. And, one week you're getting your locker assignment and you're meeting the guys and you're getting familiar with Green Bay and you bat an eyelash and all of a sudden you're a starter. And there were a million reasons why expectations were low and a little bit of panic. Can we win with this guy? We don't know, especially looking at the numbers that, we see here in 3 starts with Tennessee. It says a lot about Malik Willis, man. The moment wasn't too big for him. he took it seriously. He did basically, 6 months worth of system prep in about 6 days and got himself familiar enough to be able to run this offense when he was called on to do so. And here we are, 2 starts under his belt, and he's looking like an all-pro right now.
2 starts and 2 wins, all while having to deal with these people too, right?
That's right.
Having to deal with being one of the most penalized teams in the league. The fact that you're overcoming that really shows how efficient you're being as a signal caller, I should say, at the quarterback position, that you're not panicking when you're getting put in these bad situations, right?
That's right. I panic when I see that guy, though, on the field. Makes me want to call that guy right there.
Exactly correct. Get him on the horn. Get that official off the field. What's his name again?
Ron Tolbert. Good old Ron.
Oh, Ron.
Somebody sent him we're still trying to get a GoFundMe going to send him some cough drops too. He still sounded a little under the weather.
Every time he threw a flag too, boy, a couple weeks ago, it had me like this. Like, really, bro? We doing this again? We doing this again? All right. That's the end of hour 1. For those of you listening on the pod, thank you so much. We'll see you on the other side for hour 2. Appreciate y'all. All right, Tim, let's go into the rest of these PFF offensive grades, and we'll jump over to the defensive side of the ball. Obviously, we talked about Malik Willis at 75.9. Up next, Zach Tom, just doing what Zach Tom does, 72.9 on 63 snaps. Pass blocking grade, 83.4. Run blocking grade, 72.8. Oh, by the way, 1 penalty, which is going to bring his grade down. I can only imagine what his grade would have been without the penalty. Same thing with Malik Willis. Like I said, that pulled him down just a touch there as well. Look at Sean Ryan, Tim, 63 snaps, 71.3. Look at the pass blocking, 80.3. We talked about the guys up front, you Jeffrey Simmons and a couple other cats on the defensive tackle position for the Titans. That wasn't no easy task. And then run blocking, 66.1. Man, usually he's a little bit better run blocker than pass blocker, but Sean Ryan showed up to play ball, man.
He's thick.
He is thick.
Nacho Libre coming out party. I love it.
Up next, you got Jaden Reed at a 61.1. Malik Heath, 11 snaps, 58.0. Bo Melton, 56.8. Romeo Dobbs, 56.7. Josh Myers, 54.5. Rasheed Walker, 53.3. I know he got roasted a lot on Twitter. I noticed that. Pass blocking grade still a 79.8. Run blocking, he struggled at a 47.6 and had 2 penalties. So without those penalties, probably would have been in the mid-60s. I would imagine somewhere around there. I could be wrong. Luke Musgrave got 35 snaps because Tucker Kraft got hurt, 53.0. My man's struggling. There's no 2 ways about it. Hopefully he can pull that together. Tucker Kraft had a rough game too. He played 42 snaps, 52.4. But I tell you, man, he made a couple big plays as well. Not everything was bad there. Elton Jenkins, 51.6, kind of had an uncharacteristic game. We'll see if that straightens out. Chris Brooks, 50.4, only 4 carries. That's what's wild about Emmanuel Wilson, Tim. When we seen them getting off the plane and he had the wrist brace on, I'm like, oh, we're going to see some Chris Brooks. And then we get in and we only see 4 snaps from Chris Brooks, and Emmanuel Wilson just runs wild with a 76.7 and gets his first career touchdown too. It's awesome, man.
You got to love it, man. I've been an Emmanuel Wilson fan since last season, and I felt like he, the injury kind of cheated him out of some reps last year. So it's just refreshing to see him kind of breaking out right now. And, it's perfect timing because, the workload is there and he's answered the call. And, feel good about the little bit of snaps we saw from Chris Brooks. I'm sure we'll see more. I do believe it's running back by committee here in Green Bay, especially with Jay Money being out. So, running back room looks good. And, I fully expect a guy like Chris Brooks to contribute both in the run game and probably on special teams as well if he's going to be active. Yeah,
no doubt, man. Dontavion Wicks, 29 snaps, only a 47.4. He had a rough game. Ben Sims, only 2 snaps, 46.9. We get to meet Tay Wicks' mama. That was absolutely awesome, man. What a sweetheart of a lady she was. Just salt of the earth people. Really, really cool getting to meet her. And you could tell, she being the lady that raised him, I guarantee you Tay Wicks is a stand-up dude, man. There's no doubt about that. So
Absolutely.
There you go. All right, let's move on to the defensive side of the ball, man. This is going to get fun. Look at Kingsley Enagbare, 92.9 on only 22 snaps. Absolutely wild. Tim, if I remember correctly, didn't he score in the 90s on a game last year too? It seemed like
he
last
did.
year. Yeah.
Yeah, I think he did.
Yep. That's wild, man. You're seeing the flashes from him. And it kind of feels like they're turning him loose, kind of putting him in the middle of that overload on one side and letting him blitz up the middle a little bit more. The dude is just – and what the encouraging thing about his pass rush is you've seen 3 different pass rush moves. You know, that's kind of the knock on LVN. He's got all the raw talent in the world, but he needs to learn how to have a move or two to play off of his go-to move, right? JJ and Enagbare have been working on his craft, man, no doubt.
Yeah, and we were terrified with that knee injury at the end of last season, right?
Yep.
I mean, we thought it was full-on ACL issue, and it was such great news to find out that he didn't need surgery. There was no severe, permanent, long-lasting damage. And now we're seeing the benefits of that because he got a full off season to work in, full preseason and training camp, and dude is just an absolute menace out there 3 weeks into the season and really solidifying his role in this defense. You know, he was kind of a guy that we, you know, a few years ago we all had our eyes on him, but kind of a bubble player at best. And he's answered the call time and time again. And dude is a force to be reckoned with, and I love it.
Yep. No doubt. Now, for all you Jair Alexander haters out there, let me tell you something. That's me. I've been hating on Jair Alexander.
Here to tell you, Pack is back.
I've been in here going, man, listen, we're paying this dude a lot of money to play mediocre. He came out and shut me the hell up, Tim, and I'm telling you, I could not be more excited about it. Balled out, 89.2. Run defense grade, 60.5. People are going, that ain't great. No, that's good for Ja. Like, it's usually kind of low, right? Tackle grade, 78.
78. Wow.
Wow, dude. Coverage grade, 90. Got to pick 6 right in front of me. I zoned out, Tim. I talked about that this morning. I'm looking, okay, I immediately read the backfield. All right, who's in the game? What's the personnel? Kind of get an idea. You'll never know for sure in the stadium, but kind of get an idea. They go empty. I went, oh, they went empty on this side of the – oh, Lord. This is a pick 6 waiting to happen, right? Ball snapped. Dude sits down in a curl, if I remember correctly. I think it was a curl route on the right. And I seen Ja jumping it. And as he's jumping the route, I'm going, oh, my God. I literally – first thing in my mouth was pick 6. And then the second thing was, why am I not recording this?
Yeah, that was a thing of beauty, man. I think – Ja should get a lot of credit on that play because he was playing off pre-snap, and obviously it was a curl route, but that ever so slight stutter step back pedal that Jair did at the snap kind of sold that route to Levis.
Yep.
And by the time Levis stepped into that throw, Ja was probably even with Hopkins at that point. I mean, that ball was going right to him either way about it. So just that's a veteran play by a veteran player right there, and you love to see it.
Yeah, he seems like he's really turning the corner too. Like, if I remember correctly, last week he played a little. Was it last week or the week before he played a little bit better? And he got the interception against Philly. So this is his second interception of the year, right? It's going to be fun to see if he continues to grow off that because those are the type of performances we were used to seeing. Now, that was his first career pick 6, right? I think if I remember correctly. So, but those are the type of performance we remember seeing when he was, in his best days there early in his career. Hopefully that continues. It's going to be huge, man. If you can get Ja on one side, X on the other, you're going to wreak havoc, especially with the pass rush hitting home the way they did yesterday. So
took it down the sideline, turned over with my guys, gave the football to a little kid wearing 23.
He did take it down the sideline, didn't he? So you guys let me know in the chat. Was that his first pick 6 or he had one before?
I think it was his first pick 6 in a regular season game. He may have had one in the playoffs, maybe.
Maybe so, yeah. All right, so there you go. Devontae Wyatt, number 3, 78.7. Tim, listen to these grades. Run defense, 68.1. Let's go. Tackle grade, 70.7. Let's go. Pass rush, 64.9. Coverage, 61.3.
Thick.
The pass rush, hey, it's a little low for Devontae Wyatt, right? dude, everything else, that's the kind of game you need from Devontae Wyatt. You need it to be balanced across the board. This is what we've been screaming for. Lo and behold, he plays a balanced game, ends up with 2 sacks, right? Did he get 2 sacks? Yeah, 2.
Yep.
2 sacks on the day. And he had a hurry as well. So, man, what a day by Devontae Wyatt. I'm
hoping that one, Clayton. We talked about that all throughout training camp. We put an asterisk next to his name. Watch out for a breakout year from Devontae Wyatt in this Jeff Hafley scheme. And like I said, man, we're 3 weeks in. We're already seeing it.
Yep. The only thing that we talked about, Wyatt should thrive in this scheme, and Kenny should. Kenny's the one who's taking the step back, unfortunately. Hopefully that gets straightened up. But Devontae Wyatt, I'm looking now, Tim, going, do we have our 3-tech? This might be our 3-tech, right? Because
you had alluded to that was maybe the long-term plan, going forward, is having him in that 3-tech. We know Kenny signed the extension, right? Kenny's going to be here, probably retire a Packer, as he should. But I think the future is probably, Devontae Wyatt for sure.
Yeah, definitely. So it's just so good to see, man. So good to see. Preston Smith, 77.3 with a pass rush grade of 77.4. Absolutely phenomenal there. Xavier McKinney, 76.2. Got another interception. Coverage grade, 77.2. Tackle grade 49.9, kind of uncharacteristic of McKinney. He had one of the lowest missed tackle rates last year. But run defense, run fit, 62.9. You good there. That coverage grade, that's what you're looking for in your post safety. And a guy who moves around a lot for sure. Carl Brooks, 26 snaps, 67.7. Tim, he has struggled since we moved to this 4-3. This was nice to see here, seeing this grade. And I'm not going to sit here and pretend like, yep, I seen it on the field. I didn't notice Carl Brooks. But 26 snaps, 67.7. Let's go, man. That's a big rebound from last week, if I remember correctly. So
it sure is. And looking at him thus far this year, he's improved from where he was last year. So you're seeing steady growth from another young player here on this defensive front, and I love it.
Yeah. Edgerrin Cooper, 18 snaps, 65.5. Let's go. Tackle grade, got to get that cleaned up, 29. But pass rush grade, 75.5. It's like him and Quay, man. We're going to have to fire them on some blitzes and get creative here. You don't want to get too aggressive in trying to get, too many guys after the quarterback until you smell blood in the water. That's what they did in Tennessee. They didn't come out of the gate just firing. The way I seen it from the stands was in the first quarter, the first couple of drives, it was kind of like they were filling it out. And then they turned the dogs loose, like when they realized, okay, we can hit home and we can cover on the backside, right?
Yep. So, and then Hafley dialed it up to 1,000 there towards the end of the game, down the stretch, man. That was just smothering defense from our Packers front, and just masterful calls from Jeff Hafley.
Yeah. And then Lucas Van Ness, 64.9, tackle grade of 69.2. That's slowly becoming his strength. Like you're noticing that week in and week out. Seems like his tackle grade is always pretty solid. So that's good to see. Eric Stokes, 53 snaps, 63.5, tackle grade 78.9, coverage grade 63. Rashawn Gary, 63.3, while fighting through double teams all day long. So there you go. That tackle grade 73.1, pass rush grade only 58.1, but again, chipping on him all day long. We'll see how he rebounds moving forward. We talked about it going into the game, Tim. We were like, man, Rashawn Gary should eat this tackle up. And then lo and behold, I think the Titans seen it too and was like, you know what? Let's we got to bend some extra protection over here on this side for sure.
That was the I believe he was one-on-one on that sack when Preston was lined up in the neutral zone, and that might have been the one that made them make some adjustments there.
And that specific play too, man. I was watching Gary on that play, and it was like I came out of my seat and I was hooting and hollering while everybody else was kind of quiet. And then I realized, yep, there's a flag. That sucks. That's why everybody else is quiet in my section. I was acting a fool. But Keyshawn Nixon, man, look at this, 62.2, Tim. And he's been good in the run with run defense. This week he struggled a bit. His run defense grade 70, but the tackle grade obviously at a 29.2. Believe that coverage, man, 59.5, overall 62.2. That's I feel like this is kind of becoming the new floor for Keyshawn is right here in this range, And I think you're going to see him to continue to try to trend towards the 70s. Hafley's really impressed with him. It's obvious no matter what we think about Keyshawn, Jeff Hafley wants him as a slot corner, man. Seems like.
Yeah, he's the nickel. Deal with it, right?
Yeah. So the rest of the grades here, some of them minimal snaps, like Evan Williams, 4 snaps, 60.9. Valentine only 1 snap, 60.4. Isaiah McDuffie, 59.0 on 42 snaps. That's pretty rough. TJ Slayton, 57.7. Javon Bullard had a bad game. Keep our eye on that, 52.5. Kenny Clark, Kenny Clark, 44.5 on 34 snaps. Kenny is having, according to PFF, the worst year of his career. And if you see it, you got to say it. He's been ineffective this year, right? There's been some times, like one of the sacks we showed earlier, him kind of eating some doubles and getting some penetration, but you need more out of that. Kenny Clark was right in the same boat as Jair last week with me going, hey, man, we're paying these guys a lot of money. Ja stepped up big time. We got to see Kenny step up if we want this defense to truly go to like a top 10 defense, top 5 defense.
I agree 100%. And luckily for us, there's 14 games left in this regular season. There's time for Kenny to turn it up and turn it around for sure.
Definitely. That depresses me. There's only 14 games left. Like, it's going by so
well. We're a playoff team, Clayton, so we'll get more than 14, right?
That's a great play. I'll tell you what, if you're a Jaguars fan, you're depressed too because they're getting absolutely boat raced on Monday Night Football right now. What is this score? It's like 30-something to 3 or 30-something.
Really? Fabio's not moving the ball?
Yeah, not tonight, man. Ugh. Let's see here. I'll give you a score update if they'll go away from the fancy little replays and the celebration in the end zone, all that stuff that the casuals love. Like, come on, bud. What's the situation here? Give me the info. They're not going to show it. Anyway, they're winning. They're going to win this game. That's all that matters. A little bit closer game. Well, here we go, 34-3. A little bit closer game is in Cincy, though. Washington's beating the Cincinnati Bengals 14-7. Kind of a surprise there. So,
wow,
that's interesting. All right. Eric Wilson, rough day, only 8 snaps, though. I was calling for more snaps for Eric Wilson. They disagreed. They played him like they normally did, just, got in there 8 snaps, 39.2, rough day at the office. Coverage grade was a 33.2 after getting that interception last week. Tackle grade, though, steady Eddie, 70.5. And then, of course, Quay Walker. It's bad, Tim. It's bad. And here's what's crazy. We've been talking about how his coverage has been so steady, right? So good. That's been his strength. This week, coverage grade 29.7. Everything else, though, bro, look at this.
Yeah. Look at the pass rush grade.
Yeah. Look at the tackle grade. That's been his struggle. 80.6. It's just like, I feel so bad for the dude because he just can't put it all together. It's like, man, if he comes out and grades out pretty decent in coverage right here, and listen, we've seen it. It's a couple of times we looked at each other in the stadium like, that was Quay. He's just getting lost in some of those underneath coverages. If you need him to flip his hips and run with a slot receiver, he can do it. He's got the athleticism. Yep. But, man, it's just it's tough because I want him to work out so bad. But, Tim, I can't turn my head to him. Like, it's –
Oh, no, and I agree. And I'm a staunch supporter of Quay Walker.
Right.
I have been since he landed here in Green Bay 3 years ago. And I think what we're seeing right now, and these PFF numbers really they kind of support what I'm saying here, is that I think we're seeing the process of Coach Camp and Jeff Hafley unlocking Quay Walker. And it's not going to happen in 2 or 3 games. I think you need to really get a full season with these coaches and with this system, and him kind of rounding out this rookie contract. It's this is a big year for Quay Walker and a lot of guys in year 3 here. So I think when you see an 80.6 tackle grade, you see 73-point run on the run defense. Run defense has been one of the things we've complained the most about with Quay. Here he is in the green. And then, of course, the pass rush, 69.3. Well, what did we see yesterday in the game? We saw Quay playing downhill. We saw him, being fired on some of these linebacker blitz packages and things like that. So, naturally the coverage grade slipped. The overall defense slipped a little. I think a lot of that just plays to the fact that I think Half and these coaches are just trying to really figure out, where is the best place for Quay to play, what is the best way to utilize him, because he just might, on the defensive side of the ball, with the exception of a few, he might be the best athlete on this defense. And that's something that we have to consider. So I think we're just in that process of some new coaches installing a new defense this year and just trying to figure out, the best way to unlock Quay Walker. And I think we owe it to ourselves to give it some time here. Let's at least get halfway through this season before we're ready to really, cut and run from him. Because if you talk to Halfley, if you talk to Coach Camp, these guys, they're not ready to give up on Quay. They speak very highly of Quay. And I think a lot of times we put him under a microscope and focus on the couple of things that he's not doing well, and we gloss over the stuff that he is doing well on a consistent basis. So I think, a few more games, a lot more reps, maybe moving him around. I still don't think that's a bad idea to maybe bounce him around a little bit and, see how he looks situationally. But I think we're just seeing the process of him being unlocked by these new coaches.
Yeah. Coach Lynn in the chat said under 10 snaps for Wilson is perfect for him. I disagreed last week, Coach. This week I agree, being the emotional fan I am. But special teams is, obviously his strength, and that's the way they see it. There's no doubt about that. We're going to get to I seen your chat here. Greg Rice, did Hopper get snaps? We'll hit on the snap count here in just a second. I've got that marked so I can come back to it. We got several chats here marked that we'll come back and hit. So let's move on to special teams real quick, just to show a little love there, Tim. Obviously, look at this. Evan Williams, only 4 snaps on defense, right? 13 special team snaps, 76.5.
Here's the guy.
Tucker Kraft, 11 snaps, 74.9. Robert Rochelle, 12 snaps, 72.7. Eric Wilson, 21 special team snaps, led the team, 70.4. Xavier McKinney, I seen him knock someone out of bounds on one play. I'm like, who was that? It was X's on special teams. Look at this, dude. Talk about a team.
You love that, right? All that money. You would think if there was a guy that wasn't going to play special teams, it would be him. Shoot. What's that? 8 snaps on special teams? Gotta love it.
Definitely. And then the stinkers of special teams, Javon Bullard, 48.4. Long snapper Matt Orzik, I don't know what he did, but it wasn't good, bub. 45.2. Lucas Van Ness, 49.7. Edrin Cooper, 50.8. Aaron Mosby getting 17 snaps, only a 50.4, but that's a lot of snaps for him. Might have been probably the 3rd or 4th most on the team. Yeah, probably 4th most. So,
he was a guy we were really high on in preseason. Mosby had some good games, so a guy to keep an eye on for sure.
Yep, definitely. So those are your PFF grades. What we're going to do now is, I know I've got the snap counts here somewhere. Here we go. Let's hit this real quick, Tim. I thought this would be interesting. This is something I don't keep up with a lot. It's usually after I dissect the play, I go, now who was that made that play, right? Because I'm not a big player fan. I know people, they'll root for teams because they got a favorite player on it. That's definitely not me. I'm more of the schematics and the X's and O's and everything. But so all 5 offensive linemen, Rasheed Walker, Sean Ryan, Zach Tom, Elton Jenkins, Josh Myers, all played 100% of the snaps. So everybody was healthy across that offensive line, even down there in the heat. That's really impressive. They got 100% of the snaps, as did Malik Willis, obviously. Romeo Doubs led the wide receivers with 46 snaps. Tucker Kraft led tight ends with 42 snaps. Musgrave got 35. However, keep in mind that Tucker Kraft left with an injury there for a short bit. I noticed it. I think it was in the second half, him coming out of the tunnel late. That's when I realized, dang, I didn't even realize that Tucker had been taken out or got hurt. We noticed Musgrave in the game a little bit more. And listen, I'm going to be honest with you guys. In real time, watching Musgrave, it was bad. There were so many times it was just like, this guy's – it's crazy because when I turned on his college tape, I felt like he had such good body control. And I had that in my scouting report I put on Musgrave. I'm like, man, this guy's got good spatial awareness, good balance control, body control, contact balance. And that's been the farthest thing from the truth since he got to the NFL. Hopefully he can straighten it up, but obviously got significant snaps there. Jaden Reed, 36 snaps. Christian Watson, 34. So right now, when you just look at the snap count, and listen, the heat could have been the reason that these got crossed up a little bit. Could have been a little nick with an injury or something. But as it sits right now, if you went who's wide receiver 1, 2, 3, however you want to play that game, on a per snap basis with the Titans game, Romeo Doubs was 1, Jaden Reed was 2, and Watson was 3, right? Wicks came in with 29 snaps at 46%, a little bit lower than that. Then you have Bo Melton with 17 and Malik Heath with 11. Christian Watson, we talked about there. and Musgrave already. Christian Watson had 34 snaps. Josh Jacobs, 33 snaps. Emmanuel Wilson, 26. Tim, I love it, man, that they were banging their head against the wall trying to run inside zone early in the game. You could see that. It was so apparent that, like, to the point where I got frustrated as a fan. I was sitting there like, man, we've got to start stretching this thing out.
You think they were listening to us? I joked about
running right at them.
Run right at them, A gap all day, right up the gut.
Yeah.
And I don't know, but yeah, I agree. They were running into a brick wall, and it made Jacobs look worse than he is.
Right.
Like that's not the type of back that he is. But our O-line, especially on that right side, a little shaky, against a stout inside run defense. When they went to the outside zone, man, that's when things started changing.
Yeah, definitely, man. No doubt about it. So that's your offensive snaps. Now, the question that someone asked in here, I had it starred. Who was it? Did Hopper get snaps, right? Let's hop over to the defensive side of the ball. No pun intended. Let's hopper over there real quick. And let's see, just to answer this question real quick for Greg Rouse, I'm going to go ahead and drop it down. Greg, appreciate you, buddy. Where's Hopper on this list? Didn't play a snap, did he, Tim?
No.
All right. So,
but it's good to see Coop, 18 snaps. I don't know what his snap count was last week, but I'm willing to bet it's nearly double this week.
Yeah. So McKinney and Quay Walker both played 100% of the snaps yesterday. Then you had Jair Alexander at 98% with 53 snaps, as did Eric Stokes. Javon Bullard with 49 snaps. Isaiah McDuffie with 42. Keyshawn Nixon with 40. Obviously, that's just a personnel thing right there. You're not really controlling those snaps. It's whether or not they're going to play 11 personnel or not. Rashawn Gary, 37 snaps. Kenny Clark, 34 snaps. Preston Smith, 33 snaps. Devontae Wyatt, 29 snaps. Carl Brooks, 26. Pretty healthy little size there. About 48% of the defensive snaps. LVN, 22 snaps. Kingsley Nabare, 22 snaps. You see that, Tim, and your immediate response is, got to get these guys more snaps.
Yep.
But, if you step back and think about it, maybe the reason they were so effective is because they were fresh, right?
That's true. But I think with like LVN, if you look week to week, that's more snaps. JJ Nigbare also more snaps and probably going to continue to get more. Rounding out that list too, I know Edrin Cooper had 18, TJ Slayton 15, Eric Wilson 8 snaps, kind of low. That's a guy we want to see get more, like you said. And at the bottom of this list here, Evan Williams, 4 snaps. I fully expect that number to double. Honestly, I really do. It was nice to see him out there defensively. I think he's going to get more action. I really do. Bullard didn't, like you said, Bullard didn't have the greatest game. He's snagging up nearly 50 of these 60-something snaps. I could see Bullard and Evan Williams splitting the balance a little bit more here as we go forward, unless, Javon Bullard rebounds, which I expect him to do, and just plays so damn good that there's just no room to pepper in anyone else. But Evan Williams is a guy that I think we're all, as a fan base, we're all excited about. And I think he should get more than 4 snaps a game. I really do.
Yeah, I agree, man. And again, he was a baller on special teams. So maybe he embraces that role and he becomes kind of your special teams ace with Eric Wilson. You can see that happening too. I feel like he's kind of cut out for special teams, Evan Williams. The way he just goes 110 miles an hour and throws his body around. It's like, that's the dude you want gunning, right? That's the guy you want coming down the field. So Edrin Cooper, 18 snaps. I feel like that's a little bit more. I could be wrong, but it kind of feels like they're working him in a little bit more in some of these specific situations. You seem to.
Did he get credit for any of those sacks? Did he get half a sack on that one?
I think he got a half a sack. I do. I believe he did.
Yeah.
If I remember correctly. I don't have the box score handy, but I think he did. Yeah. So let's see. TJ Slayton, 15 snaps. Eric Wilson, the 8 snaps we talked about. Obviously, Evan Williams, 4. And Corey Ballantyne, only 1. So there you go. Special team snaps. Zane Anderson with 19. Aaron Mosby, 17. Aaron Mosby, obviously, he had a pretty decent PFF grade, I believe, if I remember correctly. I could be wrong there. Obviously, Narvison and the punter, Daniel Whalen, they each had 13 snaps. Orzik with 13. Tyron Hopper. So there's Hopper. 13 snaps on special teams. Okay. Robert Rochelle with 12, and then Kadeem Telfort with 7. Funny Kadeem Telfort story. Y'all ready for this? We crossed the bridge, took a picture. come down in this huge Packers tailgate area. It was freaking awesome. First jersey you see, Kadeem Telford. Somebody had an autographed Kadeem Telford jersey wearing it. I was like, boy, that's a diehard fan out there. Got a Kadeem Telford jersey.
Speaking of diehards, I saw a Malik Willis jersey in the stands.
For real.
Man, talk about that. That dude had to be the first one at the pro shop. He got there 5 minutes after Malik did.
Yeah, right.
Got him a jersey. I love it.
Yesterday, it's funny you mentioned that. Yesterday, a big play happened, and a lady stands up in a Titans jersey, and she turns around and faces like kind of toward us, so you see the front of the jersey, and she's talking crap to another Titans fan. I was like, what is she? Why is she yelling? And then she turned around and threw her arms up and sat down. She had a Tennessee Titans Malik Willis jersey on. I was like, so that's a Malik Willis fan talking trash to another Titans fan.
I love it.
It was awesome. It was so cool.
Too old for this. Said it's not an authentic Telford jersey if it's not a 7XL.
That's a fact, dude. That's a fact. This was a normal size gentleman. Now, listen, I know his tricks of the trade. This is what he did. You ready for this? You may see me wear a Evan Williams jersey here, so right? I've got an Evan Williams jersey. Actually, it's an Aaron Jones autograph jersey, but we're obviously just going to say it's an Evan Williams jersey, never show the back, right? So what he did with Kadeem Telford's jersey, I guarantee you, he got that from Pristine Auctions for a deal, probably $20-$30, right? Because it's one of those Beckett-style jerseys.
Sure.
My man wore it out there like it's, I'm supporting Kadeem. I laughed. I said, look at the autograph. I said, my man, he came out a lot cheaper on that deal than if you went to the pro shop and got a real jersey. So it was fun.
Yeah, one without a signature, right? Would have been more
right.
crazy.
Exactly, man. It was such a good time, dude. Such good vibes down there. Let's go to the Patreon group here real quick. I want to hit on a couple of questions if I could. Here we go. So Mr. Goat in the chat asked, where the heck is Carl Brooks? And LOL at Devontae Adams being grump. So evidently Devontae Adams stirred some stuff up. Is he still in a bad mood over there, Tim? I don't know why, man. But Vegas seems like they got something good going after their coach called out players that they were making business decisions yesterday. Did you see that quote from Antonio Pierce?
Oh, yeah. That's
Man,
why I turned to my wife and I said, when Tay gets traded to the Jets, don't be surprised.
It's gone.
I smell it coming. I can see it.
So as far as Carl Brooks, though, Mr. Goat, I understand where you're coming from. You guys know he was a player I was really hyped to see this year. And in this game this week, kind of a rebound game, obviously scoring out in the 60s. He played a lot better than he has been. But I will say this. When you switch schemes, we talk about Devontae Wyatt was going to thrive in the scheme. Well, Carl Brooks really flashed last year in that 34, right? In the Joe Barry defense. Maybe Carl Brooks isn't a good fit for this defense. Something's not clicking. Maybe he hasn't got the right opportunities. Maybe he's gotten some bad mismatches when he did get his snaps. It could just be some bad luck. Definitely want to keep an eye on it. But I can't disagree with you. Like, I was expecting more out of Carl up to this point, but that was a nice little yesterday. Like, okay, that's something to build off of, right? So
that's what we've been waiting to see, right?
Yep.
Because Carl Brooks, man, that's another dude that like. You feel like the production should be there because he's such an athletic freak. I forgot what his RAS was, but that's a big boy, and getting into his NFL body and really figuring out where he fits in this defense. I think yesterday was finally a good step in the right direction for him.
Yeah, no doubt. Dave Colvin in our Patreon group said, Enigbare had a hell of a game. You guys see his snap count going up even more. Tim, he keeps playing the way he did yesterday, man. You're going to have to. You're going to have to amp it up. And here's the thing. You got to take those snaps from someone else. So my question is, who do you take those snaps away from? I think most people would say Rashawn Gary, right? That's kind of the vibe. I'd strongly disagree.
I'd say Preston Smith probably at this point. And
what's crazy is Preston played arguably his best game.
Exactly. Yesterday. This is like the wide receiver room all over again, right? Good problem to have. We got a lot of talent. We got veterans, we got young players. I mean, where do you get these snaps from, right?
Yeah. The one thing I would say is if in the next few weeks in the upcoming games, if we get off to a pretty decent lead or a team will show a wide receiver heavy personnel, maybe you throw a little more NASCAR package and that gets them on the field. I guarantee you, though, half of them will go back and watch the tape and go, we got to get 55 on the field. We got to get him some more snaps.
Yep.
So how are you going to do that, right? It's going to be interesting, man, for sure. And look, the more you do it, the fresher the legs are going to be for everyone. So,
and I have full confidence if anyone can figure out how to balance this, it's Jeff Hafley and the boys in this defensive coaching staff. So I look forward to seeing it. I mean, we got to see, like you were talking about the overload looks. I mean, that I was literally up off my couch, jumping up and down, watching LVN and Bane Gary and Preston Smith and Inigbare all on the field at the same time. Mixing up this personnel and these groupings. We have a ton of versatile players on this defense. And maybe that's where you get some snaps. Maybe it's not a matter of, who starts or who moves up or down the depth chart. Maybe it's down and distance situationally. Like you said, NASCAR package, mixing up the looks. Maybe we do fire 5 or 6, load up the box, whatever it is. And you can, steal an extra snap or 2 here for some of these guys that way. So I think Coach Half will figure it out for sure.
Yeah. I'm just the other thing, I don't like to talk about injuries or put any bad juju on the team, but injuries are going to happen. It's nice to know, though, if you do get a little banged up at the edge position, man. You got LVN, you got Inigbare right there on the bench. That's exciting, man. It is.
Yep, absolutely.
So, thanks to everyone. Thank you, Mr. Goat. Thank you, Dave Colvin, there in the Patreon group. If you guys and gals are interested in joining the Patreon group, you just scan that QR code in the upper right. That'll send you to patreon.com/PackerFan Total Access. And you can join one of the 3 tiers. We're going to be doing giveaways, all that good stuff. I think the plan for this week's game is we're going to be giving away during the post-game show. We're going to give away an autographed Robert Brooks jersey. I think that's the plan. I'll get you guys confirmation later. So anyone who's a member of one of our 3 tiers in the Patreon group and anyone who's a YouTube member here, we're going to take everybody's name and throw it into the pot there. And we're going to spin the wheel, and whoever it lands on with the Grand Pinky wheel. So
let me win my Robert Brooks jersey.
And here's the cool thing too: you've got members who are YouTube members. Now, listen, you got to be a member by midnight the night before the game. That's kind of the cutoff. Sometimes I extend it, and I don't tell anyone because I want to get everybody in. But in case I don't have time to update the list, I always want to be honest with you guys. Say, okay, it's going to be midnight the night before. That way, you kind of under promise, over deliver. But the YouTube members and the Patreon group will go on there. So just keep that in mind, okay? And again, just scan that QR code. If the QR code doesn't work for you, just go to, like I said, patreon.com and just search for Packer Fan Total Access. But we appreciate everybody over there for sure. It's a cool little community we're creating, no doubt.
Absolutely. Great giveaway too, man. Robert Brooks didn't invent the Lambeau Leap, but man, he popularized it right after Leroy Butler started it. So shout out to Robert Brooks, another Packer legend whose career ultimately cut short by injury, but a lot of respect for that guy. He was fun to watch back in the day.
No doubt, man. We had a few of these marked earlier. Let's go ahead and hit them. Mr. Larry was in the chat earlier, said, in a clip on the Packers website, after that play, it showed a coach, I think Campanelli, jumping on Quay in celebration. That was cool to see. I'll tell you this, Tim. We were out there hanging out while the players were loading up on the bus. I seen somebody made a smart aleck comment and said, y'all out there trying to get autographs. There wasn't a single person of about 30 fans that asked for one autograph.
That's right.
It was cheering them on, getting on the bus like, great game. If your life sucks so bad that you've got to try to dog people for encouraging someone else because you're too lazy and you're sitting on your damn couch and won't get out and go to a game and actually – you want to do what Tim did and go to the airport in the middle of the night after a loss, right, Tim?
Yep.
Say, hey, great season, fellas. Appreciate y'all entertaining us this year.
And that was the same vibe – that you had yesterday in Nashville was the same thing last year after the Niner loss, was just support, encouragement, gratitude.
That's all it is, man. Thanks.
That's all it is. There wasn't a single fan asked for a picture or an autograph or anything like that. It wasn't about that at all. It's about supporting your team. You call yourself a fan and say that you love this team. You can show that in your own way, a lot of different ways, but being a hater is definitely not the way to do it.
Yeah, and you can do it by stop arguing with players on Twitter and stop arguing with players' family on Twitter. That helps a little bit too. I'm just saying, you wouldn't say that to these people's faces. So stop being the internet tough guy. That's my soapbox talk for the night. But yeah, Larry, what I was going to say there, them celebrating McQuay, I think you could tell Quay is one of those dudes that his teammates love him. There's no doubt about it. That's why it's so. It sucks so bad when he struggles because it's like, man, you want it to work out. And Tim, when they came out of there to get on the bus, when Quay cut the corner, I went, that is a big old boy right there. The only other player that I felt like that with, two other players. Josh Myers, holy cow.
Yeah.
You can tell why they want him to work out because he's a get off the bus dude. I was like, whoa. And then the other one was Rashawn Gary. Mandy said, who is that? I said, that's Bain. That's Rashawn Gary. She went, that man is huge. Like he was,
and just being around him is intimidating, right?
Yes,
he's like all in the zone all the time.
Absolutely.
All the time. I've had a couple interactions with Rashawn near the facility, and it's always very brief, very respectful and cordial, and borderline intimidating every single time. Shout out to Bain Gary for sure.
Very intense dude, man. I love it. Aaron Rodgers in the chat earlier said, hey, Clayton, I'm going to Lambeau for the first time this year. San Francisco versus Green Bay. Just found out yesterday. Congratulations, dude. That is awesome. Even though you played at Lambeau for so many years there, Aaron, I'm excited that you get to go watch a game.
Wait, that's Aaron Rodgers without the D. That's Rogers. So it's.
And I wonder if it really is his name. It might be his real name. I don't know. I've never asked, but you're right. There is no D there. But yeah, man, congratulations, dude. Lambeau is a special place, man. If you hit me up on Twitter, and you probably already got it all planned out, but if you're like, man, I really want to take in everything and maximize the trip, I love stuff like that. I'd be more than happy to give you like, I don't know, 5, 6, 7, 833 things that you can do while you're in town.
Absolutely.
You can really, if you focus on what you're trying to do while you're in town, you can really take in the Green Bay experience, man. The people that say there's nothing to do there, they have lost their mind.
Yep.
It's just a magical place, man. And what really makes it magical is the people of Brown County. They're just so welcoming. So it was, I want to tell a story that happened in a hotel I stayed at in Green Bay, but I'm not, because someone would complain in the comment, go, you're getting political. But it was just, I walked out of that hotel that night and was like, these are my people. These are my people right here. So congratulations, though, buddy. That's absolutely awesome, man. Coach Lynn says Sean Ryan and Josh Myers are balling right now. You know, it's crazy, too, because like the Josh Myers PFF grade doesn't suggest that. But when you look at the score every week, too, Tim, it's like the offense is kind of churning, man. Like, again, PFF isn't everything. It's obvious that the coaches believe in these guys. And Sean Ryan this week, the PFF grade obviously lined up, pretty solid days.
And I think with those two names right there on the O-line, we're just looking for, not being a liability, basically.
Exactly.
Right? No more. And you know what? We're a far cry away from the snap the freaking ball Josh days.
Yes.
He's certainly got that down. And we've seen flashes of him even in the run fits, run blocking, getting out there and leveling guys. And, Sean Ryan does. I mean, that's hope for the future, seeing Sean Ryan continue to kind of rise up a little bit here. He's still a young player. This is year 3 of a project. He's a project player that we brought in here. Saw a lot of potential out of UCLA, I believe, is where he played his college ball. And he's had his struggles and continues to have struggles like a lot of players do. Nobody's perfect, but when you see guys flash like that and you see, regardless of where you're at in your career, you start seeing some positives mixed in there. That's where you want to be. So yeah, you're right. For Sean Ryan, the PFF grades showed it yesterday, but with Josh, man, it's a lot of the intangibles. We don't see him with his back to the defense anymore like we did last year. We saw that a few times. We don't see him getting washed out or pancaked. We don't see him snapping the ball and looking left and right and then blocking air. So there are things that are improving with his game. So you got to respect that for sure.
If you do want to see someone get washed out, pancaked, and embarrassed, I'm going to show you a clip here real quick. First of all, shout out to Todd Appel or Apple. Hope I'm saying that right. Go give him a follow at TODDAPPEL on Twitter. He tagged me and Ryan in this, and it was Warren Sharp that actually tweeted it out. If you guys don't know who Warren Sharp is, he's one of the best NFL analytical dudes there is. But he tweeted out, said, within 1 second, he said, I am dying. Within 1 second, the entire defensive line has blown past the entire offensive line, who is laying face first on the ground, 4th and a foot, and this is what you do. We're talking about the Chicago Bears and the Colts here. I got to keep the sound down, but watch the offensive line, guys. Don't look at anything. but the Bears' offensive line in this goal line situation.
Where did they go?
Now, look, what's the replay? Look. Look at every one of them.
Still suck.
Look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 guys on the and again, if you roll it back and go kind of slow motion, 70 is the best one. You're gonna see 70 kind of kick out right here. Look, 70's like, yeah, what's his buddy? I don't know what happened to his buddy, but he just gets
65, yeah. Woo.
Yeah. Now watch 70. Look at the arrows.
Oh gosh.
Anyway, it's always fun to laugh at the Bears. All right, guys, that's it. We're out of here. Again, we just wanted to extend Victory Monday a little bit longer, so that's why we did it. If time would permit, we would try to do Chalk Talk tomorrow. I don't think it's going to happen, so we'll continue to just dive into everything Packers. If I can get it put together, we'll do it tomorrow. If not, we'll wait till Wednesday. But, Tim, you got anything else you'd like to say here before we get off?
Just shout out to everyone in the chat. United Bates, Dennis Shook, Too Old for This, Respect Oranges in there. We've got a lot of the PTA posse. Cheesehead Murph checking in tonight. We appreciate everybody joining in the show and being a part of the conversation, man. This is awesome. We got a super chat here. Oh, nice.
Yeah, it was from earlier. I just want to
that's right. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, shout out to Michael Kiram. I hope I'm saying that right, or it might be Kiram, who sent in the super chat. Appreciate you supporting the stream, buddy. You're awesome, man. So that being said, guys, we're out of here. We'll be back tomorrow, 7 p.m. Central, to talk more Packers. Tim, can you help me out here?
For those of you listening on the pod,
thank you for making us a part of your day. As always, let's go out and be the change we want to see in the world.
No block, no rock.
Go Pack, go.